Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show. This podcast is short, fun, and jam-packed with good ideas that you can start using right away.
Welcome to another episode. I'm your co-host, Ellen, along with my co-hosts.
We Silba. Go back to the beginning. I'm a child again.
You're a child again. Okay, well, that's something new. But it does tie into what we're talking about. And that is that, there's the saying, the expert at anything was a beginner once. And it's so true. We look at people and we think, wow, they're so good at what they do. I could never be that good. But you know what? They had to start somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere. And it's just being strong enough to go, okay, I suck at this now. But you know what? If I keep at it, I'm going to get better.
Yeah, and I would add to that it's never too late.
Yeah.
If it's true that 70 is the new 69 or whatever the math is, it just goes to show that people are living longer and they're having 2 or 3 careers. And what's the problem of going back to college at any age? If that's what you want to do. And it is about going back to being a beginner. You're going to be a little bit of a fish out of water, but think about how cool that'll be when you're done. And there's so many things that it's not too late. I remember when I was 12, I'm like, oh, I'm finally learning how to play guitar. I'm way behind, the kids that started at 9. Honestly, you know what I mean?
Right.
I know people that pick up the guitar at age 50 and get pretty good, just a couple years. So it's never too late to add to what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you are a person that thinks, wow, yeah, I can't start, then, because in 5 years I'll be X number of years old. Well, guess what? You're going to be X number of years old in 5 years, no matter what. And wouldn't it be cool to be that 75-year-old that can shred on the guitar, because you started 5 years ago.
And the thing, I lament this because I'm a writer, but we can learn things quickly. This is about efficiency after all. And
Yeah.
so as much as, I wish people would buy a how-to book, they just watch a video and they're fixing things. They're learning things. They're getting better at things just by watching videos. Not every generation learns that way, but a good portion of people, that's how they're getting their information on how to improve or learn something. And I think that's great. So the curve to learn something and to, but I'm just starting, but to get proficient is so much quicker.
Exactly. I think we may have talked about this, but I read this book called Beginners, and the whole book is about this guy who he studies what it's like to be a beginner, and he learns to play chess. He learns to make jewelry. He learns to surf. And, through it out, he learns to sing. All these things, he puts himself in situations where he's a beginner. He studies, he learns the scientific thing behind it about how we learn. We reach a point where, we don't know what we don't know. And then we reach a point where, oh my gosh, we start to realize what we don't know. But it's all part of the process. And as long as you keep moving forward, you're going to get better. And, to realize at that point where you go, oh my gosh, I'm just terrible. I realize now I'm terrible. Keep going. I will make sure that the information in the book, because I think the book is outstanding, I will make sure that that's in the show notes so everybody can read it. But it's such a good lesson in how learning new things, you can start at any age.
And along those same lines, if you have a mentor that's a real mentor or even a fictional one, meaning you just learn about how they did something and then just take the same steps, sometimes, and a lot of famous people are more than willing to tell you, well, this is what I did, and then I did this, and I had this help, and it's all out there. And so if you want to get to where you want to go quicker, then just follow in the wake of somebody who's already done it and just do what they did. I know that sounds so simple, but sometimes we wallow and struggle and flail around. But really, if we just looked at who has what I want, who's doing what I want to do, who's really good at this thing that I want to learn how to do, and just do what they did, man, that's efficient.
That's super efficient, actually, because, especially now, people that have what you want, like you just said, people that are in that position where you want to be, and not to blow our own horn, but like podcasts are ridiculously good for finding out how to do something that someone's already doing that you want. Because in most interviews, people open up about it. They might put on a little persona otherwise, but on a podcast, they're super honest. Well, you know what? I sucked at that for 38 years. And then I did this and it really helped me do stuff. They just open up and share it. So find podcasts that your heroes, quote unquote, or the mentors that you mentally want. Find out where they've talked and read or listen to what they're talking about, and you can go further faster.
And then lastly, I think it's called the beginner's mind, where you
Yes.
sometimes have to get rid of the things that you've been doing that haven't been working to get to start over. Really say, well, I've been doing this for 20 years. I know everything about. Well, maybe we should look at it from a new perspective of. Let's pretend like I'd never done this before. How would I do this? How would I start? Just to maybe get some new, fresh ideas if you're stuck, to come in with a beginner's mind.
Yeah, because that's the opposite of, the curse of knowledge is when you know too much and you aren't open to the new stuff, which is where you step back to be the beginner's mind. So all of this is to say it's never too late to start trying something new. And every expert was a beginner once. Be sure and listen to us again next week. And be sure and like and review.